Okay, welcome back everybody to Webinar Wednesday, hosted by Marketing 360. That was a lot of fun here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry that we're doing this a little bit late, but Brandon, we've already done our introductions. It's nice to see you, Brandon, Lily. We're going to jump right into this, right? So through this webinar, what we really want to do is illustrate the power of utilizing multi-channel marketing to drive conversions, increase conversion rate lift, as well as impression share. And there's really 5 different programs that are key in executing on this type of campaign. Now, this is not all the different types of programs you can put into a multi-channel campaign, but these are the 5 that we in Marketing 360 believe you need to focus on. So Google search, YouTube, Facebook, Google display / retargeting, as well as RLSA or remarketing list for search ads. So Brandon, before we jump into the next slide, is there anything that you want to preface it for the small business owners watching this at home or the marketers out there?
Absolutely. So let's start high level. And we've talked about multi-channel or that multi-level marketing here for utilizing different channels to bring leads to your business. Now, those leads can be conversions. They can be people that fill out lead forms, for service-based clients or things like that. But while we've discussed it before, I want to get a little bit more nitty-gritty this time around. But just to paint a picture about what multi-channel marketing is, at a high level, it's really exactly what it sounds like, right? It's using different channels to drive different types of customers in, but using the information across those channels to refine your message across the board. So that's really where a lot of the technique comes in from this. So I think we can go to the next screen here, Seth. First things first is we want to talk about what the keywords are. Now, if you've done marketing period of time, you've done Adwords or Facebook or anything like that, organic search on Google, that sort of thing, you already kind of know what the keyword is, right? And the keyword is what someone is searching for to drive them to your business. So it's incredibly important to kind of know what that is and what keyword is really driving the customer to you. So really, first thing you want to do is take advantage of the 2 largest marketplaces out there from search engine standpoint, and that's going to be Google and YouTube. So it's a great opportunity to utilize the strategy to identify which keywords are working best and which ones you can utilize kind of across the board and get the best results from, so that you can support your efforts, kind of across the different channels. That's really what we're looking for, is how can we support these channels with information that we learn from other ones, right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, and when we're talking about, identifying these keywords, and then we're going to talk about implementing a campaign strategy, how do small business owners go about finding these keywords that they want to focus on? Now, are they going to go after what they would just Google if they were looking for their own business, or are there tools out there that they can utilize to find out what are high search volume keywords? What do you think is best for them, Brandon?
There are. So I always like to tell people to start with the keyword that you think you'll that you would search for. You'll be interested to find a lot of times when you search for something and you think it's going to pull up one thing, it might pull up something different. If you search for let's call it a mortgage portfolio, and if you are a real estate investor, maybe real estate portfolio, you're an investor, that means something very specific to you. But from a financial and a banking side, it means something very different, even though it's the same keywords. So I always recommend, first step, search the actual keyword and see what kind of results come up. Look at what those ads are. Look at what the organic listings look like. Is this really, truly a keyword that that your users are going to search for? So that's your first step. Other great opportunities is Google's Keyword Planner. Google Trends also kind of gives you an idea of, is this search or is this product or service trending up? Is it trending down? If you're starting a lawn care company in December, probably going to see that search that search is trending down. So you want to be able to balance those, and that kind of gives you a good start to think about these keywords. Now, once you've launched some campaigns, that's when you have real data coming in from Google Analytics, from Marketing 360. If we're working with you, you can see what the keywords actually are and then make adjustments from there. But first step, make some educated guesses and then move forward.
Perfect. And then we're going to be talking about YouTube now, right? So stick with this first kind of idea, identify the keywords. And real quick, while we're on YouTube, We are live on YouTube as well as Facebook right now. So if you have any questions for us, please leave a comment there in the comments section. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, please go ahead and do that. We want to get to your questions there. Or if you're watching it live on marketing360.com through our Crowdcast, please feel free to leave a question through the comment section as well. And also, no plan on the blue Google and red YouTube. It just happened that way with the shirts. So YouTube here, create a video targeting the keyword. And for this example, we're going to talk about Facebook ad keyword, right? You'd create a video talking about Facebook advertising, and then you would want to add a layer on to this multi-channel marketing, right? So the first layer in would be building out an audience based on 75% video views of this video into a retargeting ads perspective. Now, can you walk through that real quick for our consumers?
Absolutely. So Facebook ad or Facebook advertising is a great example. In fact, you've probably seen this with some of our videos as well. You know, from Marketing 360 standpoint, we work with a lot of Facebook consumers and clients that need to have their ads on Facebook. So it makes sense that that would be a keyword that is utilized within our own marketing strategy. Now, to begin to build this multi-channel marketing platform, you might call it. Now we want to branch. We've got ads on Google, probably have ads on Facebook. Now we want to have ads on YouTube. So first things first is you start a video. You build out that video, and the title of the video, the keywords of the video are related around keywords that you already know that you're getting great results for. So if we're talking about Facebook ad or Facebook advertising, then you would create a video specifically called that. Now, not just Facebook advertising. That doesn't mean anything to anybody, but that's the keyword that you're looking for. So you start with Facebook advertising, 10 tips on how to get great results with Facebook. Great video. It's already tied in with other channels. It's tied in with keywords that you know people are searching for. And better yet, you know that they are responding to the keyword. They're clicking on your ads. In this case, we can also build a retargeting list based on people that have watched, say, 75% of the video. Those folks, you know that they're clearly interested in what you have to say. They're interested in your service. They're interested in learning more about Facebook advertising. So you create a retargeting list. If they've watched 75% of the video, they're probably pretty interested in it. And now you have, this is where that display advertising comes in. You can tie people in with display, retargeting lists for search ads, actual retargeting banners and display banners like that, all based on the fact that people were interested in your content. This is a really non-aggressive way to get in front of them. It's a really non-aggressive way to remind them. And, it's been said for years, but the law of seven still remains true. Somebody really does need to see your brand or your message at least 7 times before it starts to become a little bit more ingrained, before they recognize your brand and start to build a little familiarity with it. When they're familiar, that's when they buy or they convert. So all of these channels are working together to make that happen.
Absolutely. And the one point I do want to say, you definitely need to keep your brand in front of consumers, at least as Brandon was saying, 7 times. But there is such thing called ad fatigue. We're not saying you need to show them the same video and the same retargeting advertisement for 7 times in a row. We just need keep your brand in front of them. So maybe create different campaigns that kind of circle back around that can definitely tie in your brand to it. Now let's jump over to Google. So Google, taking the same keyword, you want to build that inbound text ad, and you kind of mentioned it there. And when you build out a text ad paired with your YouTube, we've actually seen increases, 2.5% increase in conversion rate and a 10% increase in impression share. And that's by utilizing the same keyword set, utilizing the same text ad that we did for that YouTube. Again, you want to add in RLSA for the keyword into the retargeting, and then also leverage the traffic from the landing page for remarketing on social and Google display. So Brandon, let's dive a little bit deeper into that.
So now we're really getting into the more technical side of things. There's so many different places you can start, but this is still going to fall within that very first aspect. This is your identify keywords. That's the important part here. When you're identifying these keywords, and let's continue talking about Facebook advertising, keywords like that. We already know that people are searching for that, either through our research or through analytics, through the Marketing 360 platform. We can identify what people are searching for. We've taken that keyword, right? And we've developed a video around it. video, an informative video, a valuable video. You don't want to spend the time and energy in creating a video no one wants to watch. Yeah. So by providing great content related around keywords that we know people are searching for, now we kind of get into this paid space, right? So now we're looking at Google AdWords, text ads, those top 4 ads that show up within Google search results. So the top 2 on mobile. So you take that same keyword and you build your text ad around it. Now, there's all sorts of different ways that you can go with this, but the first 2 things that I always recommend that you do is you start with your retargeting list for search ads. It's mind-blowing to me that this isn't used more commonly. It seems a lot more complex than it is, but if you're familiar with setting up retargeting lists within AdWords, it's very much the same thing. Same setup. You've already got the code in there. You've already got your analytics code and your conversion and retargeting. Use that. Create your list. And then you can actually add this list as an audience to your text campaigns. So what happens there is you can bump up your bids on these different keywords. So you can say, listen, if this person has already been to my website, I'm perfectly willing to pay 20% more to have this person see my ad again. And the value there is that you've already spent time and energy educating them on your brand, on your business, your product, and everything like that. So it is valuable to drive people or to put your ad in front of them. Retargeting lists for search ads is a great way if they are back and they're searching for maybe they're a little further down that funnel, right? At first they were just doing their research and they're kind of looking into, what is Facebook advertising. Now they're diving a little bit more. Best agency for Facebook advertising. Now they're going to search a little bit more. In this case, Marketing 360, Facebook advertising reviews, something like that. Now, they'll continue to see that text ad, and that helps to really reinforce this brand advertising. And we already know that it's working. They searched for it organically. They watched a video on YouTube. They've searched for it here. Now we're showing up to them back in their search, the search traffic. And then that's when you can also really start to tie in the display network and retargeting ads and things like that. And if you've been to a website or seen a product and you didn't buy it then, and then you leave and you go somewhere else and you start seeing pictures of that product or that service, that's retargeting. It's beautiful. It works fantastically. And it really helps to reinforce. And it's those different places that people are looking for you, or not even looking for you sometimes. And you're just able to pop up, remind them you still exist, and give them an opportunity to come back and actually convert.
Perfect. And a lot of great information there, Brandon. If anybody has questions about anything that we're talking about, please feel free, jump over to marketing360.com, give us a call. We would love to dive deeper into this for you. Really, Brandon, the second thing we're going to talk about is Remarket, right? We've already said it and we've already brought it up because it just fits so nicely into the multi-channel marketing strategies. But this is a way to increase that lead generation and retain engagement, right? How do we get people coming back to our brand? How do we get people actually commenting and liking and sharing our posts on social? So kind of as we mentioned about the remarketing, secondary component of the initial traffic that is being generated. So all campaigns, YouTube search, all of them should be in the remarketing, Google Display, RLSA, and our systems that we kind of utilize here at Marketing 360 is retargeting ads, natural listing ads, and social targeting ads. So give us a little bit more insights into how to utilize kind of these different programs into things we've already talked about.
Absolutely. So we talked about retargeting a little bit, and then we can dive a little further in here. You can not only do you work off of the audiences, like we talked about creating a remarketing audience of people that have watched your video at least 75% of the way through.
Yep.
You can kind of assume that that's going to be a high value audience, right? Well, you can create other audiences as well. And those audiences can be anybody who has visited the website. So doesn't matter what page they landed on, they came to your site. Now they're going to see that retargeting brand, or they're going to see those ads. Other retargeting lists that you can create would be they went to my pricing page. That's a pretty interesting place to build an audience from. Yeah. Those folks are probably a little deeper into their research, right? They didn't just see your ad. They're not, just kind of briefly looking at it. Now they're looking at your pricing. That's a buying signal. And you want to create your lists around those buying signals. You can create lists around people, depending on the amount of time spent on the site. And you can use analytics, or you can use Marketing 360 to help create those lists and identify where those engagements come from. But the retargeting campaign is all built around bringing people back to the site and bringing people back to your brand and your company. So built along with that is natural listing ads. Now, this is Marketing 360's approach to search engine optimization.
Yep.
We've believed forever, and we still believe this, that you should treat your organic approach and your content approach the same way you would any advertising program. Treat that as an ad. So those organic placements are ads, and they should be engaging, and they should be something that drives action. They drive a click. They drive somebody to your landing page, and that landing page is then tied to what that organic listing was. And now they're on this landing page, and now they're in the retargeting list, so they're going to see your retargeting ads. Then one of those ads might direct them back to the site, and now they see a video. You can see where this is going.
Absolutely.
Beyond that is social targeting ads. Now, this is kind of an all-encompassing term for essentially interest and demographic-based advertising. Mm-hmm. Facebook would fall into this. Pandora would be another one. YouTube, even based on the demographic and interest targeting that you can do there. All of that would be looped into social targeting ads. You might consider it slightly more of an outbound approach, but really it's based on interest. And if you've built your lists and you build your funnel of people that you're trying to target, if you build it effectively, it's not an outbound approach. This isn't a billboard. This is reminding somebody to take an action that they already knew they wanted to take. They just didn't know they wanted to take the action with your business.
Yeah.
If you do it right, then you're able to show up on Facebook or Pandora or YouTube or any of these social channels and remind someone to take that action that they already knew they wanted to do. Yep. So tying in the keywords, tying in the audiences, tying in your ads, your landing pages, all of these different channels work together. And they have to work together, right? Because nobody goes just one place and then decides to buy or decides to work with your business. That's the value of creating this multi-channel marketing program. You get value out of every one of these channels, and it all leads to that one goal that you're looking for. And that goal is conversions and driving new business.
Absolutely. And I think as you talked about, the thinking about every single facet of your marketing campaign as a potential ad, right? Even going back to YouTube, when you're creating those videos that you're going to run advertisements for, you're still posting that video live onto your profile, and people can find that organically. So make sure that you take the time, make sure it's a good title, a good image for it. Make sure the first 3 lines of the description are placed well organically, right? So having the keyword sets in there, and then adding the tags in there as well. So just a little thing for YouTube there on the natural listing ad side. Now, third, once we have all of this in place, right, we really want to set up kind of the automation of it. Some of it can be from an ad perspective, as you were saying, but also the way that we see it as a lead nurturing, right? So utilizing email automation and text message marketing to help facilitate the customer journey. They are coming through a funnel, right? You said it at the beginning of this webinar that they're at different stages of the buying cycle. So as they start coming down further and further, and they're looking and kind of engaging with different ads and videos, you can start sending them different messages through whether it is email or SMS. So I'd love to get your take from the marketing side on how to best utilize these for small businesses.
Absolutely. And we've done a couple of webinars related to this in the past. We've done some other videos around this too, but this is where a CRM really comes in handy. You've already spent all this time, money, and energy. And the more you look into how these marketing campaigns are built and how this strategy works, you start to realize just how much time and energy it really takes to create something, and then to optimize and refine these channels across the board. Mm-hmm. You don't just start with one keyword. You might build this exact strategy for one keyword. Again, we'll say Facebook advertising, and this entire strategy is related around Facebook advertising. That can't be your only keyword. Now you're starting with another. And so this strategy can become a monster really quickly in a great way. There's so much about the science and the alchemy of marketing that there's just so many different things that you can test and try and optimize. And, there's just all sorts of different things to really focus on. But one thing that I find all the time that kind of gets lost in this shuffle, lost in the building campaigns and the optimizing campaigns, is what happens to the customer after they became a customer. Mm-hmm. It's so incredibly important, because all of the energy spent up front building these campaigns, and then you finally get that person to buy, or they sign up, or they give you a call, they become a customer in one way or the other. What do you do with them then? Well,
absolutely.
That's where that CRM is incredibly important, because you can build in this automation that you're talking about with email and text messaging. You can set up reminders for yourself. You can set up automated email reminders for your customer. If you're a seasonal business, what a great opportunity to start to retain this business for next year. You already know that they need to be your client again. It could be lawn care, it could be pest control, it could be gutter cleaning. There's all sorts of things. And that's not going to be something that's necessarily year round. So if you've added these customers to your CRM and built some email automation to where 4 months from now, or say, early March, they get that first email reminding them, you've already brought that customer back and turned them from a one-time business into multiple times.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is just incredibly important from a nurturing standpoint, because the retention of customers is so valuable for the growth of a business.
The lifetime value of a customer, right, is ultimately what you want to look at. You're putting a lot of time and dedication and money to get them in the door, and just by simply sending them a thank you, or hey, here's another product that fits well with this that we just did for you, that you bought or we serviced, right? Increasing the lifetime value is going to help your overall return on investment. And then one thing, because it's the holiday season, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It's important to know too, that when you are looking at creating these strategies, remarketing timing is everything, right? You're building these lists and you're building all these followers. You need to make sure that you can create different campaigns set on even holiday season. Again, if you're seasonal or based around holidays, right? This is the season, right? I start seeing Tiffany everywhere on my computer. Maybe that's because that's where my wife goes to look at jewelry, but now I'm seeing the retargeting ads, right? So it's just those little things. So know the timing, know who your demographics are, and make sure you have a plan that you can follow up once they become a client. So Brandon, to kind of look at the final strategy here, right? Analyze and optimize. And we have a couple things here. I'm going to jump over to the key factors real quick. So create that targeted video, right? Speak to the keyword to generate search volume. That's going to be huge. You want to pair that with inbound ad copy. That's going to help for increasing, hopefully, conversion rates and impression share on those ads, and make sure you're getting them to a specific landing page that also talks about the keyword that you're referencing. Create that audience and get a good creative remarketing strategy in place, and then make sure that you have a marketing automation set up and the analytics to properly track. Now, outside of the key factors here, right, on the right-hand side of this, I think is a very interesting graph. There's colors here. We're going to be looking from left to right from each color, right? So white bar, gray bar, those are all different. But this is actually the conversion funnel, or how people actually came across. And Brandon, I believe this is our own Marketing 360 strategy that we are showing the conversion funnel. So how people found us, and ultimately how they converted to become an opportunity for us. So please walk us through this in more detail.
Yep. I wanted to save this for the last slide, because to me, I feel like this ties everything in together. We've been talking about paid search, social search, social targeting ads, retargeting, direct traffic, people that they may already know your brand, or they heard about your brand through an ad, referrals, anything like that. This is a screenshot out of Marketing 360. This is from one of our own marketing campaigns, primarily driving leads through to us, for our team and for people to become clients. Now, each one of these, look left to right. The very top one here is organic search, paid search, and then direct 5 times. Now, that person came through and filled out a lead form and became a client. But first, they found us organically. Could be searching, and you can dive into this in Marketing 360, but you could identify, well, what were they searching for? Let's say it's Facebook ads or Facebook marketing agency, something like that. So they, see the Facebook marketing agency. Okay, great. They, probably visited our site. They looked at it. Well, the next thing they did, this could be minutes later, it could be days later. They clicked on an ad. They clicked on a paid search ad. still didn't convert, still didn't decide to fill out the lead form and communicate with us. In fact, they then came back to our website 5 times. But this one's interesting because that five times of traffic, those were all direct searches. So they went to marketing360.com and continued to do their research there. So they interacted with our brand 7 times. Oddly enough, that's exactly what we were talking about. But then you can see, the one below it, paid search, direct, paid search 4 times. This one might have been a little costly, but clearly searching for things that we are ranking for. Organic search, paid search again, became a client. You can go all the way through these, but what I wanted to save this for and kind of showcase is that none of these really came through one channel, stayed on that channel, and then converted. Mm-hmm. Nobody does business like that anymore. Nobody does business with, just see the ad in Yellow Pages and go, yep, this is the one I'm going to call. You don't generally see the billboard down when you're driving down the street and go, that's exactly what I was looking for. Right at this moment, I'm going to call that number directly off the billboard. That's just not really how business is done these days. Very much, an older generation, an older style of doing business was essentially being there. Build it and they will come, right? Yeah. That's not how this is done anymore. Now, you need to go where your customers are, and your customers are online. Now, that's not to say that there's certain businesses or certain industries that still do very well with a traditional style of marketing. That absolutely still has its place. However, when we're talking about digital marketing, if you are not where your customer is, you do not exist. And 100%. We could easily say with this that maybe the very first person here, organic search, paid search, direct 5 times, if we didn't show up in the organic listings, we probably were never going to earn that customer. Mm-hmm. Or if we did show up in the organic listings, they go to search again, and we didn't have ads running, we may not have earned that customer. And you can see all the way down there with display and social network and all these different channels that you can see within there. If we aren't in those spaces, you break that conversion path. Mm-hmm. You break that conversion funnel, and that loses you business overall. So the big wrap up here is that the multi-channel marketing approach works. And I think this is a great example of how we use this internally and the value that we see from being in different places and providing as much valuable content as we possibly can to help earn the trust of our customers, help educate, help teach small business, and really at the end of the day, just help small businesses grow in any way that we can.
Yeah, that's why we're here. And this is, what we love to do. Brandon and myself here, we love getting on these webinars and sharing all this information with you small business owners. We hope you find value out of it. One interesting thing to me is kind of the second one from the bottom, right? We don't know where that lead came from first. It was unavailable from a tracking perspective. They hit us on organic, went to a paid search, then organic, then a paid. Now, this isn't telling us that they went to the same keyword search, right, in the same keyword ad that they clicked on. It just showed us they went organic, paid. So the multi-channel, I think, is even talking about specific campaigns themselves, right? You need to make sure you have multiple keywords ranking organically, so make sure you have a strong campaign set in place there. A paid strategy, you need to go after multiple, but you also need to make sure that you're on other sites as well. See, the pink one in that same line is a referral. So that could have been from one of our review sites, right? That someone went to a review site, checked up on us, and then they didn't even care enough. They must have just said, I can still find better. And they went organic search and then another paid search. And then they're like, okay, these guys know what they're talking about, right? So I think that's really interesting when you're looking at it. And thank you for summarizing that. And Brandon, I caught you. I got one extra slide in here, even though you wanted to end on the other one. This talking about Marketing 360 and the value we want to bring to small business owners. We've created this platform to really be a one-stop shop, giving you all the tools necessary for you to increase the return on investment for your digital marketing campaigns. Yet we added a layer on top of that. We also don't want it to be a SaaS product. We want it to be a service product. We want to give you the best platform out there, and we want to give you the best marketing team out there to help you achieve your goals. And this Marketing 360 illustration here shows kind of the different elements of which we have, right? So talking about our design elements you can compare our UXI website design to like a lead pages or an unbalanced or an optimized lead. Our marketing suite, the entire analytics we're pulling from, right, Google AdWords and Yext and SEMrush and LinkedIn and Amazon now and Facebook, right? The list goes on and on and on. But then you also add on that CRM component to the end where we go up against competitions such as Infusionsoft and HubSpot and Zoho, right? All of this is in one package. It's all right there for you to utilize. We would love to be a resource for you. If you found value out of this, we're glad. If you need additional resources, we're here to help. So please reach out to us here at Marketing 360. We would love to be able to, if anything, just give you a little bit more information, but we'd love to get a little bit of your business so we can earn the rest. We know we can help you grow your small businesses in your local demographic. So Brandon, thank you so much for the valuable information. Was there anything you wanted to give these fine folks before we jump off?
Certainly. And one of the reasons that we put together this particular slide is to showcase that, and we've talked about this in previous webinars, I think last week even, talked about the value of really being an entrepreneur and that entrepreneurial spirit of I can do it myself. And that is such an incredible drive and talent. And I'm thrilled every day that I get to work with entrepreneurs and talk with entrepreneurs about their dreams and their desires. And we really kind of built this so that you still can do it on your own if you want to. Then there's all these different products that will help, and they're great products. But we wanted to make it a little easier so you could focus on running your business and not have to focus necessarily on running 18 other little products and things like that to tie together. If you do want some more information, you can go to marketing360.com/start. No obligation. You can actually create a marketing plan. You can walk through some of this multi-channel marketing and the multi-channel funnel to kind of see where that all adds in, what that adds up together. We try to add some value there where you're able to see some pricing and see what some estimates are for your area. So highly valuable for you, marketing360.com/start. And we would love to work with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Brandon. Again, as always, thank you very much for watching this presentation and following along with us. If you have any questions, give us a call. We are going to be back next Wednesday, same time, same place, hopefully without all the errors. So again, sorry for the technical stuff. We were about 15 minutes late getting on here, trying out a new web software. Hopefully it's going to work out better for the next one. So Brandon, again, thank you as always, and happy marketing until next time.